We've all been there. You've got people coming around for food. What do you cook? How do you come out of it looking really good? How do you reduce stress? Well, we have Chef Kush here, who's going to take us through his dinner party menu, and we're going to stand here drinking and asking questions.
Best job ever.
We've got it. Great.
What's the menu?
Summer. I'm thinking summer. So we've got some courgette flowers. I'm going to stuff them with crab, and I'm going to do a vegetarian version to appease the people in the comments.
Lovely.
But it will have dairy in it.
Okay.
But it's something so simple that it pairs well with the same garnish as the crab, so you may as well. Then we're going to do a really simple sea bass dish that's got about 28 ingredients in it.
Exciting.
There's this fine line between Chef Unleashed and easy dinner party.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
This is an easy dinner party, but for Kush.
And then a dessert of, I think, 3 ingredients. It's going to be some mango, some cream cheese and some vanilla, and a brittle. First things first.
Drinks, right?
Drinks.
Because your guests are dry.
Oh.
I've delegated the wine choice to
Smear.
Ben, because he knows.
We're doing a fishy light summary starter, so we're going to begin with Vino Verde, crisp, light, almost effervescent, a Portuguese delight.
Green wine.
I like when you get poured a wine and say, to start, we're going to have this one, which means there's more later.
Wonderful.
There might be. We'll see what the rack has. Oh, Chef, do you want a glass?
Oh yes, please. While Ben does his job, I'm going to start cooking. So scallop mousse, really simple. Scallops, bit of salt to help break them down, whiz them up, and then pour in the cream as it's spinning.
What I love about what Kush is doing here is it's so adaptable. Basically, it's equal quantity of scallop and cream, but you can swap the scallop for any white fish. So, or chicken, or basically protein and cream in equal measure equals mousse.
Yes, it's not even the star of the show. We're going some lovely Cornish hand-picked white cock crab meat for that.
What?
Cock crab is the male crab. Right. Put it into a bowl and we're going to season it. Just looking for something that's nice and soft and pillowy.
We've got a couple of questions from the community as well, and one of them is how far in advance can you prep?
This mousse, as long as everything is fresh and ice cold when you make it, it's all dependent on the seafood. So the scallops came in, the crabs come in fresh, we trust the seafood supplier. So you could make this 2 or 3 days in advance, but because it's such a simple dish, you want that freshness. You could stuff the courgette flowers with it, put it in your fridge 2 days before easily, and then just steam it to order. That's quite nice. Or you can steam it in advance and just serve it lightly chilled or room temp, depending on the weather. Comes into
Really
play.
good tip. Plan your starter not to be warm.
The vegetarian version, peas defrosted out of the freezer, mint, salt, pepper, blitz it up, put some goat cheese through it, and that'll be the veggie version. And those are our 2 fillings done. So crushed up peas, nice and vibrant. Tiny bit of coriander, tiny bit of ginger to go through the scallop. We've already got the mint and the peas, don't need anything else than that. Might seem a bit odd, but this is what Raymond used to do. So this is his
Name drop.
Ramois recipe. So this just brings another dimension to it.
This is Raymond Blanc that you're talking about.
Everyone knows who I'm talking about. Come on, Mike.
Well, they do if they've listened to the podcast.
Oh. So we're going to whack these both in piping bags. We're going to stuff them into courgette flowers. We'll make a little garnish and a dressing. And that's the starter done.
Where do you get courgette flowers from?
You grow them.
Ah,
They are easy to grow. So all courgettes come out and they've got these little flowers on the end. And they just get bigger. And they take the flowers and sell them to restaurants and they sell you the cheap courgette. Your local artisan greengrocer might have it. Local market, your allotment friend might have them. Because all courgettes and squash and marrows, I think, will have a flower on them. Just how you utilise them. Chefs loved it when it was courgette flower season, because otherwise this same filling and same garnish would be put into a ravioli. But the effort involved in taking that off, opening it out and stuffing it versus making pasta, chilling pasta, rolling pasta,
Nature's
forming
dumpling.
pasta. 3/4 full. And then these are steamed and served just warm, just to set the mousse. The crab's already cooked, obviously. You just want to cook the scallop and warm the peas through. It's going to fold over a couple of the petals to seal it and then leave a few long for decoration. And you're really relying on seasonal ingredients and quality and something nature's given you, i.e. the flowers. And they look quite cool. You can serve them upside down, serve them long, serve them short. And it will always impress because it's something you don't see at home normally.
do you have any sort of rules for designing that menu?
So make your life as easy as possible, and then you either balance, I think it's a balance of effort or spend.
Okay.
So you spend more money on really good, fantastic ingredients and do less to them,
Yeah.
or get a cheaper cut of meat and spend more time putting effort into it.
Like the pork belly you did last time.
Exactly.
A lot of effort, days of effort, but it's a
relatively
cheap cut.
cheap.
These are the stamens, you know, pollinator tinkles, yeah? So these come out of the middle of the flower. You can leave them in and then eat them, but if you take them out and steam them, they look quite good. It's a free garnish, it looks quite pretty. Some artichokes
Chefy.
out of a jar.
Because they're too much of a pain to prep and cook.
Some leftover bread, crouton or croûtes or tuiles for texture, and a herb oil, the classic favourite green herb oil.
Yay.
Yeah? And then the sauce is literally going to be seasoned buttermilk.
Sour.
Sour. So I've just lined the steamer basket with a bit of baking parchment, tiny bit of olive oil so they don't stick. 'Cause the last thing you want to do is all this work and then they stick. So courgette rounds, thinly sliced. Keep that natural shape. Asparagus tips sliced in half to get, again, keep that natural shape. So we go asparagus in to the olive oil and butter. Olive oil flavour, butter flavour, use both. Butter gives a nice shine. They'll tick over. Last second, literally last second, we'll go in with the courgette so it's got a nice bite to it. Warm the stamens up. And then with the artichokes, that'll just slice up a bit more so they're a bit more dainty. But there's nothing wrong with using a good prepared product. All the labour has been dispatched off to someone else.
Lots of mise en place before you started cooking, and we're lucky in the studio the fact we've got, you know, a dozen glass bowls and little petri dishes and stuff to demonstrate. But how would people do this at home, especially as one of the comments from Peter, I've got a really small kitchen and not a huge amount of equipment.
What I do at home is I get things ready and just put it straight in the pan. So you could put the asparagus into the pan, give it 30 seconds on the stove, pull it off, and then put everything else in it, put a lid on it, put it to the side. 8 hours later, just put the pan over the heat, warm it through. Restaurants prepare food well in advance, and it's pretty much all reheating, and then they're pan frying their fish or they're roasting their meat to order. So that's how you should operate at home as well. Buttermilk, I'm gonna add some salt, some pepper, and a herb oil. Fresh herbs, lightly chopped up, put into oil that's 130 degrees Celsius, cooked for a minute, and then blended and then strained through kitchen roll. And you get this lovely, vibrant, very, very dark green herb oil.
Must be weird for you to see buttermilk without raw chicken breasts in it.
Yeah, you're right.
And now the magic happens when you pour this in, with this lovely little split effect, and all your flavour is in the oil.
Nice use of the stamen.
So I'm just going to take them out onto the board so they don't have any excess juice dripping on.
Looks amazing.
If I ever, by miracle, got to the stage where it looks like this is where I'd ruin it.
As long as you do it with confidence, your guests will think that's what is meant to happen.
Doesn't matter how good it looks in the kitchen work surface, you've still got to walk it to the dining room.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And there we have
This is your tasting menu.
crab stuffed courgette flour and our crushed pea stuffed courgette flour with spring vegetables.
Beautiful.
I'm excited.
Me too. I love the mottled look of the dressing.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
So you've gone veggie, nice. Oh my goodness.
There's a taste of sunshine.
That's incredible. This is fantastic.
Tiny little bit of olive coming through. And the bread.
Yeah, apart from that, it's delicious.
Really sweet scallop and crab.
Yeah.
It's a sweet meat with sweet peas, and then you've got this like sour buttermilk, yummy, yum, yum, and the floral note from using a flour. That's special. And Pario was asking, like, how do you then pair something with it in terms of a wine? And it's all so subjective. like all drinks pairings are.
Make a choice, tell everyone that's why you made the decision, and they'll probably believe you.
But for something as light and fresh as this, you want something almost like palate cleanser. It's zippy, it's zingy, it's almost effervescent, it's citrusy, green fruit, green apple, and yummy.
Shut up, Ebbers.
What a great way of interrupting this video with an announcement for our next Sorted Live. Washed Up.
So far, thousands of you have been working with our production team to come up with ideas for the weekend.
Here's what we know. We're on a beach and we're taking on lots of tropical challenges. And now, for the first time, we are finding out what some of those ideas are. Of course, Pass It On Mystery Treasure Chest, where you'll be taking turns cooking with everyone having to pull something out of a treasure chest. It could be an ingredient, gadget, or a curveball. Nice.
A poker face challenge where people have voted for the 4 nasty and 1 nice.
It's
version.
bad enough as it is. Sorted Survivor, where you'll be cooking together and the community watching us will vote us off one by one.
Pass It On Desert Island dishes where you'll be taking turns cooking, and the finished dish must include elements from all of your favourite foods.
Ooh.
If the community feel like someone's not properly represented, you'll all fail.
And a tin can metal detector challenge, where you'll comb the beach for mystery tins to cook with.
This is just the first bunch of segments to be revealed. The rest of the segments are still being worked on. Thanks, guys. If you want to get your ideas heard, make sure you fill in the ideas survey in the description box below.
And if you want to be washed up with us, then join us on the weekend of the 29th and 30th of June. Tickets are available now.
They're available now. I thought I'd like echo
Yeah,
it.
thanks, mate.
Make it sound
Emphasise.
Yeah, reverb.
Right, guys, I've got started on the main course,
Which is?
which is going to be pan-fried sea bass, tomato, avocado and orange salad,
Oh,
shellfish, and a chorizo sauce. So the first dish was for Ben. The second dish is for Jamie. So I know you're not the massive fan of cooking fish, but you do spend a lot of time telling us about you going to Spain.
He's not wrong.
This is a wake up.
The best chorizo you can get in the country. So this is,
In your humble opinion.
in a lot of people's humble opinion, this is Iberico Bellota pig chorizo, so from the black-footed pig. And that's going to go on the plate as it is, naked. On top of that, pan roast sea bass. I'm going to cook all 6 pieces now in 2 pans to show that you shouldn't be afraid of cooking fish, because everything else, again, can be done in advance. So classic sauce base for seafood, fennel, shallot, got some garlic. I put some cooking chorizo in there. We're going to go in with some lovely Datarini Sicilian tomatoes, which are like candy. I've got some tarragon, some thyme, some picchio peppers.
oh yeah, yeah.
They're going to go in. Tomatoes are going to go in. Bit of sweet smoked paprika, not the hot stuff, is going to go in. Some sherry. And then a stock made from 6 kilos of chicken wings that have been roasted and 2 kilos of langoustine heads and claws that were roasted, as well as all the same ingredients from the base.
It's pretty much bouillabaisse. If you diluted that, I would have that on a spoon as it is.
Yeah. So that took about a day, right? Chop your wings, roast them really slowly, make your stock, strain it off. But that can be done well in advance or frozen. So this is sweated down. I'm not looking for any colour. I don't want a really rich, dark sauce. Looking for light and fresh. Go with some sherry. The pan is on full. The pan's on 9.
Okay.
All right? Everything's over a high heat to cook it really quickly. I don't want this to cook for an hour. It'll taste muddied and tired. You want to get the real fresh flavour out of this.
Tired.
Yeah. I'm going to go in with the fat and the lovely gelatinous langoustine and chicken stock base.
So this brings us on to question 2 from Paria, which is wine pairing again. Because it's a fish dish, so cliche you go white, but actually smoked paprika, smoky flavours, you've got the pork from the chorizo,
Yeah.
you've got the tomato, albeit cherry tomatoes. You could go a light red or a heavier white.
Something quite big and robust will pair well with this because we're serving it with some sea bass. Wild caught sea bass. So we're going with a salad out of these ingredients that are mirroring what's in the sauce. So we've got tomato, I'm gonna put some fennel through it, orange, which will come into the fish later as well, in a little trick from restaurants that I learned. That makes massive difference.
Casual home.
And good olive oil, salt and pepper, and that's pretty much what you need. There's a lot of flavour coming in various parts, so this is just to support everything else. Okay. So we've got the fennel tops. Don't buy dill, just use the fennel tops. They'll go through. Very finely shred some fennel, not too much because it can be overpowering. And then one of my favourite ingredients this time of year, blood orange. People think it's just colour, but they have a totally different taste to regular oranges.
Tastes like sangria.
Yeah. They taste like not going to bed.
Right, you do that. I'm going to see if we've actually. I don't think we've got a Priorat. Where can we go that's similar?
What's that?
It's Eastern Europe Pinot Noir, so
That'll
not
do.
too heavy. Oh, yeah, a lighter, a thin-skinned grape. In fact, you can see the colour through it. It's a light.
Yeah.
Probably would benefit from each chilled. This one isn't, but we'll manage. We're air conditioned in here. This dish would take a lovely, slightly hoppy, not too much, like IPA as well.
Supermarket avocado. It'll add fat to the dish, but you want that unctuousness to hold the bottom of the dish together. So just a bit of avocado going into the salad. By all means, you could char the avocado as well. That works really nicely, Jay. But we've got the smokiness coming through the paprika, so it's not needed. And just
Chop it up.
just stirred through this lovely seasonal salad that will be served room temperature again. We've got some lovely Jersey raw potatoes in season. So I've cooked these potatoes in some simmering water with a lot of good olive oil, a lot of thyme, and a cut bulb of garlic, okay? And a lot of salt. So all of the flavour from the garlic, thyme, olive oil has penetrated the potatoes.
Bloody love osmosis.
My favourite country.
Do them in advance, keep them in the fridge. Flavour. Gonna cut those up, throw them into the salad. So everything's gonna go into one bowl and mix together.
Okay, great.
Right?
So how long are you cooking these potatoes for in that liquid?
So bring them up to a simmer, then put the heat on the lowest possible heat, and then just keep on squeezing them basically. These took about 35 minutes.
Mussels,
And
Clams.
clams,
big boy clams, right?
big boy clams.
Cooked,
Big girl clams?
Yeah, big girl clams.
steamed with a bit of sherry, taken out their shells, washed with ice cold water, and then drained and then put in the fridge.
Why ice cold?
So once they've been cooked, you want to cool them down.
Okay.
I've done that by dunking it into cold water. I've saved the broth, passed it through a sieve and put that into the stock. But I just want to get rid of any trace of fragments of shell or grit, because these live in the sand, and the last thing you want is someone crunching down something too hard early on at a dinner party.
Maybe desserts creme brulee or something.
Ooh. We'll take that off the heat, cool it down a touch, then blend it. I'm not going to blend it while it's roasting hot. It's dangerous. Sea bass.
So,
Not only is it £12 per portion, I've also spent a day and a half making the magic powder that we used to use at the Manoir. Orange and thyme seasoning. I've taken the peel off an orange and dehydrated it. I've taken a bunch of thyme and dehydrated it. I've then powdered that and passed it through a fine sieve to get this.
when you say dehydrated, you put it in a machine.
I've put it into a low oven at 50 degrees overnight.
Okay.
Same thing as a dehydrator. We're now going to use two not non-stick pans.
So stick pans.
Stick pans,
Yep.
yeah. I'm going to show you quickly how to make them non-stick. Right, let's test how hot these are. If the water turns to pearls, it means it's hot enough.
Okay.
Okay? Got the sea bass. It's been scored and seasoned lightly with salt and left in the fridge uncovered to get a really dry skin. This has been in there 3 days. So it's going to go in
Skin side down.
inside down. It will
It's
instantly,
hot. Like getting in a hot bath, isn't it?
instantly tense up. And that just shows how fresh the fish is. So it still has muscle tension. And then we're going to season it and put a pan on top and hold the fish down so the skin's in contact with the pan. Just over the fish. Yes, it is spitting. So I'm just going to push it down till I feel the skin popping.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'll do it with bacon. Are you doing this by time? Or are you doing this by feel?
Temperature.
Temperature?
Temperature doesn't lie. You can be knackered, end of a shift on a Friday night after the 300 covers. So temperature. While that's doing it, I'm going to blend my sauce, strain it off, dress the plates. You might ask why I'm passing it through a sieve.
Why are you passing it through a sieve?
Because you don't want to eat all of that. That's all the fibrous skins of the tomatoes, the really hard outside bit of the fennel that just would get stuck in your teeth. And you want a silky, smooth texture. Oh, this one's a bit sticky. Is it a bit sticky? Is it a bit sticky?
Fish proteins are, especially fish skin proteins, up there with eggs, are the worst proteins for sticking to most things.
But how do you get around that?
You're going to garnish it and cover it, presumably.
Blend it.
Serve yourself that one as well.
Serve it to yourself.
Yeah. Serve your 5 guests the nice ones. Yeah. They're all going, ooh, taking Instagram photos, doing reels. You sit down and smash into yours. They don't even notice.
None of my guests take photos of my food.
A little bit of butter in now. Not to baste or anything like that. Just to cover it all and a little bit more flavour. And that'll sit there with the heat off. There's enough heat in the pan to just gently cook through as we garnish our plates. So taste the sauce. Mmm.
He's not happy.
Do you want me to season that for you, mate?
Tiny bit of sherry. I need a bit more freshness. So we'll go in with a bit of orange juice. Just to lift it all a bit.
And the use of raw alcohol in that, and by that I mean alcohol you haven't cooked out, gives you that lift.
So you instantly get all the acidity from the sherry coming through and that lovely flavour. Otherwise it would all be cooked out about an hour ago, so you've lost a bit of it. Red wine sauces finish it with a little nip of the wine that you're drinking, because then that becomes the volatile compound, and that's what you taste with all the lovely depth and background.
That's an amazing tip.
Temp-wise, 55 to 60 for serving temp. So that's about 48 now by the time taking it out, it's rested, drain off all the excess juice and plate it up. That'll be perfect. Warm the seafood up in that pan, very, very lightly. Just to take the chill off it, because they've been in the fridge. Then we're going to plate up. So I'm going to put this chorizo full of fat on a warm plate, and it'll just soften. I'm not doing anything to it because it's the quality of the chorizo. First had this style dish at the Capital, Eric Chavot's restaurant, when I was like 16, and it just had some thin slices of chorizo under some sea bass.
Like I should have downloaded Duolingo for this episode.
Again, in advance, you could, if it's the right weather outside, plate these up, put some nice hot fish and a hot sauce over the dish, and that's job done.
Can we talk plating, Kush?
Yes.
So many comments.
Yeah, why are you plating this way? What's your logic when it comes to plating for something like a dinner party to make it look top notch?
Yeah, so I want all the ingredients to shine and you to see everything that you're eating. So I'm going to put the fish there, put the sauce and some seafood, so you can tell it's got all of these things that are hyper seasonal and you can taste them all. Little tip, waste nothing. Loads of basil in this will go really well, and we'll just lift the dish. And they don't need to know, do they?
I mean, they will, they've just had the first course, but
Yeah.
it's delicious.
But now they're 8 bottles of wine down. Do they care?
Well, these two are like goldfish.
We are nailing it.
And bit of fennel. Bit of fennel fronds.
By this point in my dinner party, it'd have all gone wrong and we'd got Papa John's on the way.
And there we have pan roast sea bass, chorizo velouté, and seasonal vegetables.
Beautiful, chef. Beautiful. Now, the beauty of a dinner party is normally you'd sit down and have dinner with your guests, but Kush is cracking on with dessert.
My dessert. Just for Mike.
This is stunning, mate.
It is incredible.
This is one of the most beautiful plates of food I think I've ever seen you produce. Oh,
That sauce,
it's the sauce.
that's the orange. I always forget how well orange pairs with so many ingredients. It's so good. The fish is meaty, fleshy, but just cooked in flakes.
That is astonishing.
And you think you've had it all, then you stumble across a clam. And fish skin that shatters like glass and you want to eat, not peel off because it's slimy and put it on the side of your plate.
Yeah.
Great job, chef. Well
Yes.
done.
So we've got hyper seasonal mango, cream cheese whipped together with whipping cream and vanilla and no sugar. And then we're making a almond and hazelnut brittle, which is slivered almonds, crushed hazelnuts, and caramel.
I would say caramel is your secret weapon for dessert.
Yeah, it's one ingredient in a pan, dry, full heat, get it the right colour, turn the heat off, tip your nuts in, and then we're going to tip it out onto some parchment, cover it with parchment, and roll it really thin as it cools down. And this is rip your skin off, take it to hospital hot.
He's not joking, it's not no laughing matter, boys.
So in a French kitchen, this would be called a nougatine, which is the base for a pièce montée or croquembouche, which are another more French words.
Put it on the menu in French and it sounds more impressive.
Yeah.
Or put it on the menu as a nut brittle, it sounds more accessible. It's
Exactly.
the same thing, you
So
choose.
What I would like to know is, does that work in reverse? So if you're in France and you put on the menu nut brittle, does that sound better or worse than the French version?
No, they don't like the English.
Right.
And that's going to go off to the side and cool down while I plate up. And that is that dish done. We're literally going to thinly slice a mango, put a quenelle of cheesecake mousse on the plate, and hopefully that cools down in time for a sexy and to eat it.
Lovely.
Good quenelling.
Great quenelle. One-handed quenelle.
The secret is to go back against
Back on yourself and then under.
Yeah.
Get the underside.
Then use the curved bowl.
Wow.
Brittle.
I mean, that is a true celebration of seasonal fruit.
Yeah. That is the simple dessert of unsweetened cheesecake mousse, because you've got sweet caramel and sweet mango.
Yum.
Cheers.
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 I'm going to try this on its own because I'm intrigued by the
mango.
cheesecake mousse. Oh, what?
When mangoes taste that good, don't mess with them.
The cheesecake thing is the smoothest thing I've ever put in my mouth. Oh my
Whipping
goodness, these
cream.
mangoes are insane.
The mangoes are phenomenal. The brittle, just that right side of bittersweet.
Yeah. And
Nutty.
Mike did have a moan about the simplicity, but I knew that he loves the brittle.
I do
2
love
weeks
this.
ago, I made a chocolate and nut version,
Yeah.
and he ate the whole thing.
I did.
So I thought I'd show him how to make it.
Kush, this has been remarkable.
We've had a lovely time. I know you've worked very, very hard.
Oh, you should see the amount of washing up I've made myself.
Forget the washing up. How much did you spend?
Oh, easily 300 quid.
Okay.
But that's for 6 to 8 portions of food.
You were very much unleashed.
Yes.
But I think where the value is, there are so many little elements of things that are accessible to me and achievable to me that I've picked up. And it's been amazing. Like the mousse, 100% will make that. In fact, I could make that dessert.
Yeah.
I could genuinely do it. It wouldn't taste as good, but it'd be great.
Sometimes it's nice just to watch chefs chef off. And that-
Exactly.
People are saying in the comments they love to watch it. There was 3 more courses.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Well done, Kush.
Well done. Guys, comment down below which of those courses was your favourite. And while you're down there, there'll be a link to our gin. #plug. Wonderful pairing for dessert.
Shameless little